What's going on YouTube? This is wwjoshdew, and today's video is going to be a full review on the LG V10. Now, LG was kind enough to send this to me several weeks ago, and I've had a lot of time with it, and I want to provide you with some information on how I feel about this phone. Now, you're going to see some stuff on here because this is a Korean model. They sent it to me for review, so this is not a carrier US version, and you'll have to excuse my voice. I have been laying in bed a lot, and I've just been very sick, so please excuse my voice. And let's get on with this. I decided to do this video a little differently than most videos. I used this phone for a couple weeks after I got it. Then I got my Nexus 5X, and I'm gonna get the 6P whenever I possibly can. And I have my Note 5 and my Nexus 6, and I've got a lot of phones. So I used it for a couple weeks, and my wife's been using it the last couple weeks. So I want to give you some of her thoughts and some of my thoughts. And I'm going to combine the two at some times. Let's talk about the build quality first. This phone is awesome. It feels solid. It doesn't feel plasticky. The back on it is a very unique texture. It provides some grip when holding it. Not a whole lot like the back of a Nexus 5, which I do really like the way that feels. Specifically, the older Nexus 5, the original one, that one, and the Nexus 7 2013, I really like the rubber grip. I don't like holding a phone which I feel like I'm going to drop it, you know? And this phone doesn't feel that way. The button placement is great because it's very similar to how other phones are doing it. You've got your fingerprint scanner on the back of this phone, which is pretty good. You just kind of press the button and you can unlock it like that. Now, I did add my fingerprint recently because, again, she's been using this phone the last couple weeks. But the fingerprint scanner works great, and she feels the same way. When I first got it, I wasn't aware that that was a fingerprint scanner. My only complaint, really, is that with the phone completely off, you can't just, like, tap your finger to it. Now, you can probably press on it and hold your finger to it, and it should unlock. Let's try that again. So, we're going to hold our finger to it. There we go. So, you can press it firmly and keep your finger on it and it will unlock. But with this phone, you just kind of gently place it there and it wakes up. Pretty awesome. So everything else is placed mostly like you'll see on phones these days: camera, flash, and then sensors. But the unique thing this has that not a lot of phones have is an IR blaster. And I actually downloaded a third-party app because the default app wasn't really working that great. So I downloaded Peel Smart Remote, which is actually an app you find on Samsung phones, I believe. And it works pretty good. It works for this thing. I can go ahead and control the TV, like the TV at the laundromat was off. So I went ahead and set it up to turn it on, and it turned on. And then you can also download another app called Smart Remote, which is like a $10 paid app. That's a free app. But you can download third-party apps that work a little bit better than the one that comes on this Korean model. I don't even remember what it was called, but it didn't have like Dynex or like whatever brand the TV was. It didn't have it on there, but the Peel Smart Remote app did have that on there. But so it has an IR blaster. So actually, I got some Instagram video a couple years ago where we got a remote fan. It uses a little clicky remote, and you can actually set third-party smart remotes to turn on the fan, adjust the speed, enable the timer, and all the different features. So if you got like a window unit that has a remote, you can actually program this sucker to use that. So this goes beyond just controlling your TV. This fans, heaters, AC units, a lot more. And I didn't realize just how helpful it was until you're in an area where, you know, the TV's off and you want to freaking watch it. And so you just turn it on with your phone. It's pretty awesome. Another thing this has that not a lot of phones are including these days are expandable storage and a removable battery. I have a 128 gig micro SD card in there at the moment. Do you know how many 720p or 1080p movies you could fit on that sucker? A lot! A lot! So if you're on an airplane or if you're on a car ride and your data's not as spotty, or say you don't have unlimited data and it would take a lot of data to stream that movie, you could hand this phone to your kid and let them watch a movie in the back seat. 128 gigs, that's just a whole lot of storage. And SanDisk actually has a 200 gigabyte micro SD card. So that goes even further than that. Then you've got this amazing thing here called a removable battery. It's a removable battery. You literally just pop it out, put a fresh 100% charged one in, and LG makes an official little dock that you can put your phone in or your battery in and charge up. I'm going to go ahead and power the phone down, pop this battery out, pop the fresh battery out of the charger, put it in here, put the dead battery in there. Or I might take that 100% battery, put it in my pocket, and then keep this one until this one dies. Either way, it works beautifully well. And if you guys remind me, if I forget, I'll put a link in the description to that. So you could get an official battery. Or you can get third-party batteries from Anchor and or Zero Lemon. Or you could get huge, like 7,000, 9,000, even 10,000 milliamp hour batteries if you're in the military or somewhere where you're not near a power source a lot of times, and you need your phone to last for a good while. You have those options because of removable battery. Removable battery, micro SD card, IR blaster. This phone is awesome, and I definitely recommend it. Now, I want to go over something that's kind of weird. Okay, instead of providing you with notifications, it kind of like shows it up here. So you can see the signature, it will display your name. If you wanted to change what it says up here, you can actually hold this down and edit the signature. So you could put just your first name if you don't want it to show your last name also. And you could choose a different style font like handwriting, Roboto, coffee, or Roboto coffee, and etc. And you can save it. You can actually change what shows up there, and she might have changed that. Let's see if she's changed it. Alright, so second screen, show when main screen's on, show when main screen's off. My wife says she might have changed it, but she's not sure how she did so. Unfortunately, I don't know how she changed it or how to change it back. That's pretty sad, but I just don't see it in here. I've clicked all the ones there's to click, and I'm just not finding it. Like mini view is not that. Smart setting is not that. Second screen just lets you turn it on and off. So anyways, this is something that I wasn't a big fan of because I just felt like a lot of times I would try to drag my notification down from right there, and I didn't like how the recent apps were all popping up right there. She's actually got it changed. I don't know why her apps aren't even showing up there. Her recent apps are supposed to show up at the top, but apparently she has modified this in a way where it doesn't do that anymore. But that was kind of like intrusive to me. My phone would be at this screen right here, and I would just see like 4 different little icons for Play Store, Facebook, whatever app I used last, and you would just click on it to get to there. One thing she's a fan of is a lot of times she has a Bluetooth headset connected around her neck, and she can actually skip the track, go to the next track, pause it, and actually control it with the screen off just from right here. When the screen's off, you can actually turn the flashlight on right there, but the screen has to be off to access that part of it right there. So you can go ahead and launch the camera app real quickly. The camera on this thing takes phenomenal pictures. It's a really good camera. That's all I really have to say about it. I'm not a camera expert. All I know is that when I take a picture with this thing, it shows up great. I can view it on the computer and it looks great. I'm not a camera expert, so don't ask me for any other information on that. But yeah, so you can control the Wi-Fi, speaker, flashlight, and launch the camera real quickly if the phone is off. So that's something I wasn't a huge fan of when I saw it. I didn't like the recent app showing up there. It just felt intrusive, and it was something I just thought wasn't really that useful. But my wife really loves it a lot, and she uses it constantly. And also when the phone's off, your notifications will pop up right here. There's not really like an LED, but you'll actually get notifications up there that say, hey, a new email from this person, a text message from this person. It's actually a pretty cool feature. My biggest complaint was definitely the fact that like it showed the recent apps and it just kind of looked ugly up there. Now the signature's okay, but I didn't like the recent apps up there. That's all I'm going to say about that. Obviously she has made it towards it doesn't do that, because if you open up a recent app, it doesn't pop up there. She goes to work pretty early in the morning, around 4 o'clock, and she'll unplug it at a full battery and come home with a good 60-70% left. It's been off the charger for a while. We actually used it to drive to the airport and back, and it's a good 45 minutes there and 45 minutes back. We had GPS on the whole time, and we're still at 50% with full brightness. So Battery life on this thing is phenomenal. Again, if you buy the official battery and dock, you can, you don't even, the battery life to me doesn't even matter because I'm just swapping batteries out every time it's low. Fix it to leave the house. As long as the battery can charge faster in the dock than this can kill it, I'm happy. But the battery in this thing is actually really, really good. Again, with that fingerprint scanner, I haven't had it not register yet. It does a phenomenal job unlocking, and you just give it a nice firm press, and boom, it's unlocked. No one else can walk up to your phone and just unlock it without knowing your pattern or having your fingerprint. Going back to using this thing for GPS for a couple hours in the car, the speaker on this thing is actually quite good. It's on the bottom here, which is a nice touch because it's not as hard to, it's not firing that way and you're trying to redirect it back towards you. It's pretty easy to get it like that. If you're laying down on a table, that speaker's right there and you're going to hear it nice and clear. Speaker's loud, the speaker's very clear, it sounds great, no complaints at all. Obviously, if you're looking to get this phone, you're probably a tech nerd like me, and you're getting it because it has that RF blaster that a lot of phones are not including. It's got that micro SD card and removable battery, which no phones are including from major carriers and companies. Do I recommend this phone?
You got mail.
There was a notification right there. It popped to the top of the screen, said who it's from. That's freaking cool. Your phone was completely off. You don't have to unlock your phone. I really like that feature. And then you can always know the time and date without unlocking your phone. That's about all I have to say. Being a Nexus user and really liking Nexus devices, if they had AOSP for this phone, I would choose this over a Nexus phone because of the SD card, because of the removable battery, and because of the RF blaster, great camera, and all the other things about it. If they had AOSP pure stock Android, I would choose this over a Nexus phone. But I really like stock Android. I just feel that it's very clean, non-intrusive. There's not, they're not completely changing the way things work. She actually disabled that dual window thing completely because it doesn't show dual window, it just says clear all. So she's actually changed quite a few things on here, which is cool. Normally it would say dual window and then clear and stuff, but it doesn't say it there because she changed it. Yeah, okay. So dual window is an option in the settings here, and you can go ahead and turn that on. So when you press the recent apps button, you will see dual window, but she has opted to turn that off, which is my preference. To me, dual window is something I never really used. We've had that feature on Samsung phones for a long time. Never been a huge fan of it. If you use it, great for you, but it's not for me, and now it's not intrusive and in the way. It's actually quite nice. Final verdict. Do I recommend this phone? If you're a nerd, hell freaking yeah, I recommend this phone. I'm being completely honest with you. If they released AOSP software without all these little changes and stuff, I would pick this over a Nexus phone any day. There's something about a pure Nexus experience that I can't trade. Obviously, Nova Launcher is on here. That's why when I press the apps button, it looks different than it would on yours when you get it right from the store. And that's the thing about Android, is you can completely change that. That's all I really have to say. I've given you my negative thoughts on it, my positive thoughts on it. I've talked about pretty much everything that to me matters when I'm picking a new phone. And that's all I really have to say. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you're not doing so already. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing so you won't miss any future videos. This is What Would Josh Do, and I'm out.